been hearing a lot about how Americans are afraid artificial intelligence will endanger their jobs, but there's possibly even a bigger U.S. employment crisis on the horizon, a severe labor shortage over the next 10 to 15 years. According to leading population scientist Stephen Ruggles, who is also a professor of history and population studies at the University of Minnesota, with boomers retiring, the labor force is set to shrink by 2.7 million workers, or 1.3% from 2030 to 2040. If this happened, it would mark the first time in U.S. economic history more workers would leave the workforce than enter it. CBS MoneyWatch reporter Megan Cerullo joins us. So what is driving this decline, and what does it mean for our economy?
So Ruggles anticipates that we're going to face a labor market crisis that for once has nothing to do with artificial intelligence. And what he forecasts is going to happen is that this wave of baby boomer retirements is going to coincide with too few workers entering the market, the labor market, and replacing them. On average, through 2029, 10,000 Americans per day are turning 65, which is the typical age at which Americans retire. So from 2020 to 2030, entrance into the labor force is still going to grow, but that growth is going to slow. And then by 2040, it's actually going to turn negative, and we're going to have more people leaving the labor force than we see entering it.
Are there any workers who could actually benefit from this?
All workers who remain in the labor force will actually benefit.
Because they'll become more valuable.
A scarce commodity. Exactly. You're going to have fewer workers competing for wages, and employers are going to have to incentivize those few workers they have to fill jobs to work through them, potentially through higher salaries, which could then lure more people into the labor market. There are particular positions that aren't at risk of being automated over the next 10 to 15 years, and workers in those fields in particular really stand to benefit. They include welders, electricians, some of those blue collar or skilled trade jobs that we're seeing renewed interest in as AI threatens to take away some jobs from white collar workers.
Fascinating. Megan Cerullo, thank you as always.
Thanks, Lindsay.